Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are talking about Winter Storm Miles yet again, and this is my final predictions as this storm will be ramping up throughout the day today in both the central and the eastern U.S. Now, by the time you're seeing this, we are already starting to see impacts in areas of Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, maybe even Missouri as well, with the second part of the system, the more intense part. Now, when I'm filming this hasn't occurred yet, just so you get that little timeline there. So, the National Weather Service has issued winter storm warnings from Oklahoma through Michigan, and winter weather advisories from Texas and Oklahoma through into Maine. Actually, there's a couple of winter storm warnings in New York and Maine as well. And then we have flood watches from Missouri to Vermont. Now, over the past 24 hours since I filmed my Winter Storm Miles video, we have seen a shift in this storm that is actually pretty considered across all of the mesoscale models that I look at and is pretty widely accepted. Now, we are seeing this storm shift slightly more south and east, which means that we will be seeing still some heavy snowfall in Kansas City, but instead of them starting out as freezing rain and sleet, there's a chance of some sleet, but mostly snow. Now, St. Louis, which we were talking about yesterday as being mostly rain, will now be mostly sleet, freezing rain, and snow. Then you talk about Chicago. Chicago, we were thinking that they could see up to a foot of snow. Now you will be on the northern side of the system and barely be getting anything. Indianapolis could be seeing some wintry precipitation when yesterday we were talking about absolutely nothing except for flooding rains in Indianapolis. The Detroit area is now expected to get hammered with snowfall, potentially up to a foot of snow. And Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati all could see freezing precipitation with this storm, as well as Buffalo getting into some snowfall. Now, that's just the changes from yesterday in terms of the wintry precipitation, but also on the severe front, we will see that cold air get closer to the warm air that is getting pulled up from the Gulf. Therefore, we could see a more elevated severe threat as well. So you have the good for some spots, the bad for others, and everything kind of just balances out there. Now, in terms of snowfall totals, which is the only thing I'm going to be looking at today, we will take a look at some freezing rain, though. Still, the highest snowfall totals still seem to be around Kansas City Metro, where areas just south of Kansas City could see up to a foot, and that does stretch through most of Missouri, around Jefferson City, and south of Peoria in Illinois, but a widespread 6 to 12 inches from areas of Oklahoma through into Michigan, and then into New York and Maine, where areas could even see maybe even a foot of some snow. Now, in terms of freezing rain, we are still expecting a significant amount of freezing rain with this storm. Now just shifted a little bit further south, so areas like St. Louis could be seeing maybe a quarter of an inch of ice. Areas like Indianapolis, Cincinnati's going to be kind of left out of it, but Columbus could see a half an inch, Buffalo a half an inch, maybe even areas of southern New England starting to get a glaze of ice on the back end of the storm. But you also have areas like Burlington with a quarter of an inch of ice, areas into Maine that could be seeing half an inch of ice. But overall, we're just seeing everything kind of shift to the south and east. Now, that does not really include the severe threat. The severe threat kind of stays in the exact same place, and now we do have our convective outlook for today's severe threat. We have an enhanced risk in this orange here across 77,843 square miles at a population of 7.2 million people. That includes Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, Huntsville, Alabama, and Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We have slight risk in this yellow, which covers 162,548 square miles at a population of 12.9 million people, which includes Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky, Birmingham, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, and Little Rock, Arkansas. And then that marginal risk in that dark green, which covers 282,419 square miles and a population of 40 million people, which includes Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, New Orleans, Louisiana, Atlanta, Georgia, and Raleigh, North Carolina. In terms of our tornado risk, we do have a significant severe weather risk across 61,661 square miles and a population of 6.2 million people, including Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We have a 10% chance of tornado probability across 77,791 square miles and a population of 7.2 million people, which includes Memphis, Nashville, Jackson, Huntsville, and Murfreesboro. That is in that yellow, and the significant severe threat is in that dashed area. We have a 5% chance of tornadoes across 46,366 square miles and a population of 4.2 million people in Louisville, Kentucky, Birmingham, Alabama, Clarksville, Tennessee, Hoover, Alabama, and Jonesboro, Arkansas. And 2% chance of tornadoes across 100,985 square miles and a population of 7.9 to 8 million people across Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky, Montgomery, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, Little Rock, Arkansas, and Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, this is our mixed layer cape, is the energy that we have for thunderstorms, and it does look like we will be seeing significant energy here, 500 to 1,000 joules per kilogram of energy moving through, especially areas such as Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi. Let me get my cursor readout here so that we can see. But this area in general, where we will be seeing those higher amounts here, even up to 1,000 joules per kilogram, before this threat eventually moves off the coast. Now, in terms of our significant tornado parameter, we are expecting a high significant tornado parameter in areas of Oklahoma and Texas, but the highest risk will be in that area described earlier in that significant threat from the Storm Prediction Center, where you could have a significant tornado parameter of 1 to 2, maybe even 2 to 3 on that scale. So just the probability of tornadoes to form is very high in areas around the Mississippi River in states such as Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and then eventually into Alabama as well, before that significant severe threat does diminish. So I hope that this video kind of provides a much needed update to my Winter Storm Miles video. I do go in depth into a lot more things there, so I will link that video in the cards above. But just a couple of things in that video have changed in the past 24 hours, so that is why this video is the most up to date, and this is what I am putting out here before the storm starts. But that is all the information that I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.